Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Slam. Slam. All right, Paul, let's go.
All right, I'm right here. Let's go. It's Friday. We're ready. We got Camera Pasha right there in the middle, in between those two crazies, those two locals. We're going to get into politics. We're going to get into scoops. We're first going to talk about Lucasfilm Star Wars scoops with Cameron. Also, too, let's do it right now. We got a membership goal of three membership goals, 3 new memberships, right? Gift them, give them, earn them. You're going to enjoy something like a members only video that I just did. I did my black belt breakdown of Ballerina, looking at it from my black belt perspective. We had a big part 2. Only members can see that video right now. So what are y'all waiting for? Talk to you guys in about 40 seconds. Peace. Okay, I'm back. In about 10 seconds, all right? Do this really quick. Share it, click it, all that stuff. Be right back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, Paulie here on the Latino Slant. It's Friday. It's our Pop and Politics show. I believe episode number 8. We've been having a great time with this, and that is not going to stop because the ridiculous news never ends. So we will get to that. Before I bring in my guest, let's say hello to members Lord Thoth. What's happening, buddy? How you doing? And friends here. We have friends new and old. Penny. Lucius Naturae Trist. Lucasfilm has got nothing left to gather. They are bankrupt. All right. The lovely Sherry. Hey, Polly. Hey, what's up? Derek Malroy. What's up? Salute from Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities. What's up, Derek? How you doing? It's good to see you. Bush. Thoth. Howdy. Stephanie. I'm here. So am I. Darth Plato. What's happening, Darth Plato? I hope you are doing well. Okay, as we get people in here, I have an axe to grind with who do I got an axe to grind with? Gary of Nerdrotic. Gary of Nerdrotic. I have an axe to grind with you, Gary. The other day, I went with my cousin, Derek the DA, and Jaime, my other friend. We enjoyed the Dodger game versus the Padres. And we were so happy. We put this photo up. It was lovely. It was wonderful. That was the game. Unfortunately, they lost. And like a true Padre fan, Gary of Nerdrotic spoke too soon. He said, "Ha ha, losers, go Padres." And we responded. So, he was pretty cocky, pretty confident in his kind of baseball one up. I mean, the thing with the Padres is that these guys are, forever losers. So I don't know, maybe because he thinks he's a winner with his channel. I'll give you that you think you're carrying that on just because they won one measly game out of a three series. Now, of course, we won the last 2. We won last night the West. We beat you guys again handedly. And so what did me and Derek do? Derek put up this lovely meme. Where is it? Where's my dude at? Don't tell me you took it down. You took it down, dude. Wait a minute. I had this all set up. I gotta go back now. Okay, let me find it because it was pretty funny. Did he take it down? No, it's the best meme ever. This is not fun. I had this all set up, guys. Okay, give me a second. Oh man. Oh, what is going on? Now I'm like, because this was really good. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second, because this is just too good not to pass up. And I want to do this before. Okay, got it. I got it. But now I got to stop sharing. Share again. I'll be right there, guys. And hail to the Midnighters, all the people from the chat. Cameron Pasha is coming on right now. A lot of people from Midnight's Edge. As far as the chat, always asking where the F has Cameron been. He's been here. He hangs out with us. We love him. Let me go right now. Here's what we put up and tag Gary on, and he hasn't said shit to us. Gary of Nerdrotic, this is done with love. This is done with love, buddy. We own the West. We own the West. And nothing. He's gone about his day, doing his thing. But when it comes to the Padres, Gary, where are you, brother? Where are you? And that's all I got. All right, let's bring let's bring in the man. Love him to death. Cameron Pasha. ¿Qué pasó?
Hola, hermanos. It's great to be back on. Latino Slam, one of the few places that still wants me on. And I'm delighted to be on here, and it's one of the best channels on YouTube. So thanks for having me here.
We're gonna flex. One of the best. Over 113 people hanging out with us here on the stream. If you just got here from Midnight's Edge, let me know. If you got here from Cameron's Patreon, let me know. We're also on X. Do me a favor, guys. We have and you know what? Let's bring our producer in really quickly. What do we got going on in the chat, my brother?
We got a lot of love for Miss Karma. We got Lone Elements, Camera, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes.
We got Carlos. We got a member of the channel, Johnny Gonzalez.
Johnny.
Everybody just loving on Karma right here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just Penny in the house, man. A lot of love for Karma.
A lot of love,
That's
man.
why I feel safe here and comfortable. That's why. And this is going to be a channel that you and I have talked about. This is not just a channel. This is becoming a media brand. It's becoming much bigger than people understand. And you and I are working on some things to expand even further. So,
yeah, absolutely, man. Well, this is great. So they have a poll that they can vote on, right?
Mm-hmm. I voted. Vote. Put a little Latino Slant sticker. I voted. Go do it.
I voted. Okay. What else, Fletcher? Before we start, we good?
Yeah, no, we're good. Let's say the man.
Okay, let's do it, guys. Let's do it. From Cameron Pasha's Patreon. Scoop. Lucasfilm slows film and TV production, but eyes video game for expansion.
Yep. So thanks for bringing that. That's on my Patreon. It goes out for subscribers, and this is one of the scoops I've got. We haven't had something in a couple of weeks, Unlike a lot of people, I don't actually make up stuff. I wait until I hear information, and this came to me yesterday, and it actually came in response to some news that we all know about, which is a few days ago, Disney announced that it's firing about 300 people, from legal, from HR, from a variety of areas, and that was a bit of a surprise for Hollywood. It caught a lot of stir in the industry. industry. 300 is a lot of people to be letting go within a few days. People thought there had been waves of layoffs in the past, but there had been warning for that. This sort of came out of quote unquote nowhere. At least the industry wasn't aware of it, and that suggests there's a lot of changes happening beneath the scenes. So this came from my source inside of Lucasfilm / Disney, sort of unbidden. They reached out because they were sort of answering the unthought question in my mind is, how is this affecting Lucasfilm? And so they came in with two information. So as of at least yesterday, when they contacted me, there were no major layoffs at Lucasfilm. We've had a few administrative people were let go, so that seems to be part of the overarching 300 or so that have been let go in the Disney structure. But the information they gave us but the big issue is, why are all these people being let go? Is because Disney is, as I think many sources now confirm, and I've been saying for a very long time, is broke. Right. And so they have to, at some point, economics is gravity. At some point, you have to deal with it. You can jump out of a window, but at some point, you have to deal with the ground. Whether you like it or not, it's coming. Right. And so the ground is coming. And so they now need to start prioritizing things, cutting costs and figuring out what they're going to do. And that's Disney throughout. That's also at Lucasfilm, which is, I think anyone can agree, a very poorly managed studio, creatively and financially, for well over a decade. And so now they have to deal with the consequences of it. And so one of the bits of information that's very interesting is that because of the cost pressures, Lucasfilm, which my sources say and I consistently hold, that is actually being shadow run by Jon Favreau. Right, he doesn't have a title, but he's the guy behind the throne with all the power. Right, and he's had to figure out, what do I do with the resources I'm being told is what we're going to have for the next 5 years. And so as a result, what I've gotten is that Favreau and his team are actually focusing on slowing down production in film and television. Right, I don't have
quality, not quantity.
Quality, not quantity. Right, which I think many people who have been upset about the stuff that's been coming out of this studio for the last 5 years may agree with, or even if they sullenly want to agree with.
100%. Me and you have gone toe to toe on these shows. But one thing is, there's just too many of them. There was too many. It's really slowed down. But yeah, go on, sir.
It's going to accelerate now because they just don't have the resources. So they're going to focus on things that at least Mr. Favreau, in his vision for Star Wars, which I largely agree with, believe is where the company should be moving forward. A few months before, back in April, I actually link it in this article here, I had scooped something that so far hasn't gotten out in public, but my sources within Lucasfilm were saying that Favreau is developing several new animated Star Wars shows that are going to be anime themed, because he's able to, he's at least gauging the market of where young people are. My niece, 18-year-old niece, she's an anime fan. I mean, this is the whole generation's anime is the future. Oh, yeah. And he sees that, so he's like, this is the direction. And some of those Star Wars shorts and Star Wars Visions, people really like the Japanese style stuff. And so he's like, that's the direction he's going in. So he's going to focus on things that he thinks that the next generation of people that will be fans will want. And I think that is a good thing. I think one can argue that because there were such strict release schedules under the Kathleen Kennedy regime, the prior regime, that stuff needed to be put out, whether it was ready or not. That included Book of Boba Fett, which I think was half-baked. I like some of it. I didn't like a lot of it. The fact that I liked some of it upset people. Some of it was actually decent.
Some was fun. Some of it was really, it was very bipolar. Let me read a little bit. Didn't work at all. Let me read a little bit what you wrote. Half-baked projects like the Book of Boba Fett were the victim of a demanding production calendar. So this slowdown should hopefully produce higher value product at the end of the day. There was reports even where Favreau was like jumping on planes, like not even there on set than he was, making all these, it sounds like you're correct here, man.
Yeah. No, and so that's good, I think, for everyone in for the fans. I think it's good for the company. I think instead of just cranking stuff out, because if we remember, they'll be like, we gotta get a movie out every, we gotta get a TV show every 3 TV shows out a year,
right?
It was just this mindless thing, and that's just, remember, Miss Kennedy comes from the sort of the Hollywood studio system where you just set dates and you release them, and it's going to be as good as it's going to be, right? It's very hard to shift a date, especially for a big tentpole movie, because then you have to rejigger your schedule. Your competitors then respond. That's why people set movie releases several years in advance, right? And so you've got a set date, and her mindset comes from that. Her mindset doesn't come from, I've got all these resources and a lot of time. right? Her
But
training.
it's so weird. Let me just interject really quick. It's so weird because it's almost like the last 3.5 years. It's like, were you not part of the original Star Wars magic? Were you not there? Did you not know that you have to go away every couple of years and create a new script, a new vision, et cetera, et cetera? Did you not learn that from Lucas?
No,
I mean,
she did not
obviously
learn
not.
that. No, she did not learn
Not.
that from Lucas. She did not learn that from Lucas. And I think we've seen I think the product speaks for itself. None of this is. Very little of this is in line with George Lucas's vision. I think Rogue One was in line with George Lucas's vision. I think Jon Favreau was able to do a lot of stuff in line with it, but that's not her, right? Whenever she gets her fingers involved, it goes wildly astray, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we saw with this silly acolyte thing that came and went, and that was all her baby. That was all her baby. It's all her baby, right? And we saw the end result when you just give her something that nobody else is involved in, right?
Yeah.
This is what you get, right? Which is even the mass media is like, this is garbage. Even Forbes is like, this is garbage. I mean, it's not, when you can't even get the mass media, which you should have under your thumb to support it. It is what it is, and it came and went, and and it's gone. So
let's read the ending here. So with everything here appears to be part of a smart focus strategy by Favreau rather than the haphazard make it up as you go along methodology of KK. I totally agree. These are the actions of someone who is thinking a decade ahead, which strongly suggests that the future of Star Wars is in good hands. What are your thoughts? What do you think slowing down TV and film production while ramping up games is the right move at the right time? Great question here. And the fact that thinking a decade ahead, he's thinking of this generation of fans and the next generation of fans. You have to, man. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, and let me actually, because the question raised something I haven't talked about, but it's in the article. So the other aspect of it, which is that slowing down the film and television production, but apparently the focus is now ramping up the games, right? We have an Indiana Jones game that's coming out.
Sorry, but did we skip that? Here you go.
Yeah, we skipped that. So so why don't you read that out loud? That section.
Yeah. Let's read that and talk in regards to gaming. Like, what do you mean Lucasfilm and games? Okay, the new Indiana Jones game, if it goes well, could see a sort of resurrection of Lucasfilm games through working with designers other than EA to make games. The discussion right now focuses on getting 10 new games produced by 10 different quasi-indie studios with very limited scope licenses, and see who handles it best. And then recruiting them to produce increasingly wider scope games similar to the Star Wars Vision shorts. People like the Vision shorts.
Yeah,
I mean,
So I mean, and I enjoyed it. I watched them. And they were, so it's so that's that's the thing, is they're going to try this method, which is like, all right, let's farm out a bunch of very specific licensed game ideas to 10 or so different smaller studios, like they did with Star Wars Visions. They farmed it out to a bunch of different animation studios to try things, right? And I think in general, vast majority of them ended up creating some very good stuff, and it was all broad range of stuff, right? But what it is they're going back to free market economics. I know you're going to talk a little bit about politics today. We're going back to free market economics. Let's get some competition in here, right? Let's not just give EA or a couple of different major game companies the monopoly on this. Let's get some young, hungry people who want to make their mark on it, come up with interesting ideas, who are desperate for success, and let's give them that. Again, that is the thinking of an entrepreneur, which is what Jon Favreau is. Jon Favreau is an artist. All of us, screenwriters, directors, actors, producers, are entrepreneurs. We have to create from scratch. Your partner is an actress. She has to create from scratch. She's given material, but she has to create it, right? She has to do the actor's work of creating the backstory and all that preparation work, right? And you live your life day to day, project to project. That's what an entrepreneur does. Someone like Miss Kennedy, who is technically a producer, she's really a studio executive. She's lived a comfortable life of, not really having much risk. Her life has not been one of risk, right? She has been in the shadow of great risk takers like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, who've shepherded her along. She's had a very successful producer husband who's shepherded her along, Frank Marshall. And she's essentially like this person who's going from one safe project to another safe project, getting a credit, right? Not being put into a situation of risk and losing everything and losing her legacy. So what has she done? She's been given Star Wars. She's screwed up somebody else's legacy because she's never been in a situation of having to fear losing something. All artists and entrepreneurs do, right? And that's what Mr. Favreau is, an entrepreneur. He's an artist. He's a producer. He's an actor, right? He's a director. He's an artist, and he's an entrepreneur. And so he's thinking, how do I get Star Wars more entrepreneurial and outside of this trapped mindset of the executive mindset that Ms. Kennedy brought into it?
We got a nice big crowd here, guys. We're talking Lucasfilm, its possible future. I also want to just say this and toot the horn of Mr. Pasha. Get on his Patreon, because he's been talking about these things for years. And look at Pasha's not looking for like, you know, I said it first. You know, I actually reached out to you yesterday. You're busy. You got a career, etc., etc.
Yeah, actually, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like writing scripts. You know, you read a couple of the recent ones, spec scripts I've written with the hope of selling them, right? So you just keep doing it. Right?
Amazing script. So you know, I
think we're losing Paulie. At least he's frozen or unfrozen. One of us is frozen.
Hey, Miss Pasha. Sorry about that. I think we lost Paulie on that one. Yeah, he was cutting out a little bit. Would lose Mr. Pasha? I don't know, gang. Can you tell me, are we coming in strong? I guess the storm got into LA.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you can see the clouds behind me, but are we still on? Can all of our colleagues here see me? I can continue on until we get our host back, right?
Yeah, please go ahead, Ms. Pasha.
Okay, so I'm seeing some people in the chat saying I'm frozen. Again, I can't control any of this. So
no, we can see you now. You're back.
Okay. All right. We seem to have some reception issues right now, but all right. So, you know, as Paulie's going away, so thank you, Manolo. So as Paulie, our host, will hopefully come back shortly, you know, I will talk about what he was mentioning. There was another scoop that I've had for a year and a half almost, right? Really has been about a year and a half. I've been saying since March of last year that this so-called Daisy Ridley Ray movie is not real. And when I said it back in March, because my sources inside Lucasfilm, when it was announced on stage at Star Wars Celebration a year and a half ago, my sources inside Lucasfilm, so we don't know what this is about. Nobody in the company knows anything about this, right? If this is something happening, it's just Kathleen Kennedy and Daisy Ridley must have talked about it because nobody else knows about it. They maybe like our inner circle of Kennedy. And so, you know, 9 months later of last year, so December of last year, Ms. Ridley confirmed what I said. She said she didn't know about it. She was essentially having breakfast with Kathleen Kennedy, who just brought it up and said, hey, would you like to do a Ray movie? She's like, yeah, I guess, sure. Great. Why don't you get up on stage and we're going to announce it? And she's like, this is what Daisy Ridley herself said in an interview. Confirming what I said 9 months before, which sadly I was mocked for. Like, you don't have any sources. You're just making it. Okay. And then over the last year and a half, someone actually went through, one of my Patreon members went through and found every single post that I've made about what I call the fake Ray movie with a big F, the fake Ray movie. I've made 25 posts in the last year and a half with more and more information from inside of Lucasfilm saying this movie isn't real. Welcome back. We lost you. We were just talking about the fake Ray movie and now. And so I posted about 25 articles in the past year and a half about how this movie is not real.
Patreon, correct? Yeah,
on my Patreon, about how Stephen DeKnight essentially used this. Some people ask about Stephen DeKnight in the comments. This gentleman, you know, he used this. He was a big feature guy 20 years ago. You got an Oscar nomination, right? And then he sort of fell out of it. He became a game show guy. Like I think he created Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So interesting career journey. And then he comes back in TV. It's Peaky Blinders. So he becomes a TV guy again. But he wanted to become a movie. He was an Oscar nominee. He wanted to become a movie guy again. So this was a way for him to get involved in a project and then make a big announcement. And, you know, which worked, which is now he's got a feature career now, you know, and other movies are moving, but this Ray movie doesn't, right? Because it's not real, you know? And so finally, after 18 months of enduring disrespect, nonsense from people in this YouTube world, who have no sources but pretend they do, suddenly a narrative has begun in the last 10 days that there is no Ray movie, that the script doesn't work, that I've been saying that for a year and a half. I've talked about the different drafts of the script that my people inside Lucasfilm actually saw and said none of them are working, right? I've announced all this on my Patreon. And the sad truth is, and I'm going to say this because, Paulie, you're one of the very few YouTubers that still wants me on, because people didn't like hearing this stuff. They didn't like hearing this stuff last year because it went against the official narrative. When all the YouTubers started an official narrative that Jon Favreau had quit, I was saying, no, my people are saying he's still got a parking, he's coming to the office, he's working. What are they talking about? People didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it because it was becoming a narrative, an echo chamber, right? That was making the money. And so they stopped having me on because they didn't want someone who's constantly contradicting what everyone else is saying, right? And then suddenly in January of this year, Jon Favreau is making announcements about the Mandalorian Grogu movie. I thought this guy quit 6 months ago. Our friend Yellow Flash said he quit 6 months before. Everyone else went with it. But suddenly he's making, and did anyone correct themselves? Not one of them did. Not one of them corrected themselves because they don't care about you. They're making money whether they spout nonsense to you or not. Paulie is one of the few people that actually cares. If he makes a mistake, he corrects it because he's actually trying to create a channel of integrity. None of those guys want me on anymore. And now all of them are spouting, well, I guess the Ray movie might not be happening. And I had to endure 18 months of garbage from these people. So some of you are coming from different channels. Those channels don't want me on anymore. Why don't you ask their creators why they don't want me anymore? Because they're giving bad information to you. They're giving bad information to you, and somebody who actually works in the industry who's telling them that's not what's happening, they don't want him on anymore. And obviously it upsets me. That's why I'm talking about it, because now
that's good. That's good. No, it's good. It's good. I just want to. I definitely want to move on because you have such a big audience right now. With us. And another thing that you had brought up was the Disney layoffs stun Hollywood. You put this up yesterday, and this is one thing you've been saying, and I mentioned this on Midnight Edge because I had to correct, with all respect, with Paul Chato in regards to who did the writer's strike ultimately benefit? And I said, no, it really benefited first the studios and then the elites that are already there in the writers.
Correct.
Everyone else, the little man got fucked over.
Correct.
Now this is happening. Would you care to talk about this, the Disney layoffs and what this means and what it could snowball into?
Yeah, I mean, look, because the fact is, previous Disney layoffs had been announced. They were announced back in Chapek's days. Like, he was announcing that he was planning to fire people. If you recall, in the heady days of Bob Chapek, right? He was announcing that he was attacked in Hollywood. He's mismanaging the company. Then he gets ousted for still mysterious reasons. FTX, mysterious reasons, right? He's still ousted. New York Times did a whole, 10-page analysis of it and still couldn't answer why he was ousted, right? But whatever, he was ousted. And then, then we've got Bob Iger coming back in and then just implementing his plan. The very layoffs that he announced, he ended up doing. But they were announced, and it was several thousand people, if I recall. So they were given 6 months advance notice that there's going to be some changes coming. So, that got Hollywood ready for this. The fact that 300 people are fired essentially without any warning to the industry that this kind of shakeup is coming means that there's financial issues that are coming to a head. Look at the timing as well. I always say timing is not a coincidence. This happens 1 week in advance of the end of Disney's fiscal year, right? My understanding is Disney fiscal year begins on October 1st. So they've looked at their numbers. They had to get this done. I'm sure some people's contracts were linked to the fiscal year. So this was their moment to pull the plug, and they did it. But they did it without any warning, which is new for Disney on this scale. I mean, firing this person, that person, that's not newsworthy unless there's someone significant, right? But 300 people across the board. And interesting enough, as one of my Patreon subscribers mentioned, and I think their analysis is correct, and that's a good thing about my Patreons, people giving their commentary in the comments, which is often makes me think, oh, yeah.
Not just normal people, but also industry people that are in your Patreon.
And we actually have working screenwriters who are there, and they're giving and so it's like real people. So
it's really great insight, guys. Just and I'm not just saying this just to blow hot air up anyone's butt, but me and my other half, we work in the business as well. We know how things run, and the real day to day. And so if you're into that, if you want to, get more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but just get more knowledge about the industry, hit up Cameron's Patreon. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go on, Cameron.
Well, thank you. And it means a lot because I know you're in the industry. So, Romy can say that doesn't sound right. She can say that doesn't sound right, right? You can say based on your context, you have major producers, actors, directors on this channel.
That's all I said today on Midnight's Edge is like, that's actually not correct. And then, I love Chato. Chato loves me. There was no pushback. He was like, "Oh yeah, please." It's like, okay, here's
you're adding information. Yeah, you're adding information.
It's like, here's who benefited and here's who didn't. Definitely, the studios got to cut a lot of their garbage out because of the strike, the writer's strike. Then only the writers elite benefited. But you've reported on this as well. Okay, so
so on the analysis of this, which is this is there. The interesting thing is if we look at who are the people being let go, and this will answer some of the people's comments that I'm seeing floating by about wokery in Hollywood and all that. It is people in HR, people in the legal departments. There's very specific administrative groups like that, which I think many of us who've worked in corporations know that tends to be, at least in the last decade, have become the politicized environments. HR particularly, there's always the running joke that HR is where the school moms go to scold you, and now they get, and then they have, and whatever the politics of the day are, they used to feel powerful over you. HR is the most feared department because they're like the Spanish Inquisition, right? That's what they are, right? This is a Latino channel. We know the history. Spanish Inquisition. That's what they are, right?
And we just fired our HR department, Mexican Iron Man. We just couldn't take it anymore. No HR here.
We love you,
Mikey.
He's the ultimate inquisitor, right? But God bless him, my fellow Sufi. And legal departments, they are, they go with having been a former lawyer myself. I'm no longer a practicing lawyer, but in having been a former lawyer, right? Lawyers are very cautious. They are always follow the flock of wherever society is going based on judiciary rulings. And since a lot of the direction of the judiciary for much of the last 20 years has been in a very progressive direction, right? I mean, when we're Generation X, when we were in the 80s, we couldn't have imagined that gay marriage would be legal on a constitutional level, Supreme Court. It has happened. And for many people, that's a very good thing, right? But if that's the direction society has been going, maybe there's been some pullback in the last maybe 2 years on certain, political issues. But generally, that's the direction that lawyers are going. I went to law school at Cornell, and already, you could see the seeds of the progressive politics in the class, right? And so lawyers tend to be largely more, at least Hollywood lawyers tend to be largely more progressive, right, in their politics because that's their training and that's what they went up law school learning the recent rulings and the trend of history, right? And so they tend to be more progressive. Not all of them, but tend to be. And so when you have the legal departments being let go, you're having the HR departments being let go. That's very specific. It's almost as if you're getting rid of people that you think are going to be a problem for the changes that you're going to have to implement, whether you like it or not. Because again, we've fallen out of the airplane. The ground is coming. If you don't open that parachute, you are going to die. And there's people who are saying, don't open the parachute because it's not politically the right thing to do. Right. Okay. And so you might want to let those people go and let them fall to earth and then open your parachute, right? That's the analogy I'll give. And that was a point that a Patreon subscriber said. It's like, look at who's being let go. There is an intent behind this. And I think that's true.
Wow. Well, look at, we got over 170 people combined on X and on YouTube.
That's great.
Paying attention, listening to us. Here's what I would love to do, Fletcher. We're going to read some of your starred comments. Fletcher, you're going to bring them up. Before we do that, I want to remind you guys to make sure you are subscribed, to smash the like, and to check out Cameron's Patreon. Okay, what do we got? Fletcher? Lay it on us.
Man gifted 1 Latino Slam membership, and the recipient of that was Manola Bell.
Okay, so here's the story, guys. Almost a 200% increase in the last month of memberships.
Wow.
Okay, we're getting close to 200 members. I want to break that. I want to get to 500, but in another month. That's my goal. We're going to do it. Samuel is helping us out do that. We have 2 more memberships I need to gift during this live stream. I love it. Thank you so much, Manolo. What you guys can enjoy right now are exclusive videos. I just put one up yesterday. Me as a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu breaking down Ana de Armas doing an armbar. It was amazing. Did you see that trailer? The ballerina.
And I'm going to go see that. Anything Ana de Armas is in. Look, even that terrible Marilyn Monroe movie, she was incredible in it. So yes,
yeah. But her doing jiu-jitsu, oh yeah.
Is she good at it? She's good at
it? You know what? In my video, I actually said whoever it was a little bit of her and a little bit of a stunt double. The jiu-jitsu was more on point than her kickboxing. The kickboxing didn't look kind of weak. The jiu-jitsu looked great.
Well, look, I've taken one class with you, and you're a master teacher. You're a black belt, and you're a master teacher. If you can say that, then she's got something.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. You enjoy that exclusive video, Samuel and Manolo and members. Go on, Fletcher.
All right, we got The Equalizer, layoffs at Disney, yet Iger still claims success.
Well, I mean, it's a fair point to raise. But look, I mean, we know what this guy is. What's he? I mean, this guy's a politician. I mean, does a politician ever say that they're wrong or they made a mistake? Has any politician ever admitted in history that they made a mistake and they backed the wrong thing? They only do that if they need to switch the party because they have some other agenda, right? But generally, they don't admit from a place of sincerity that they made a mistake. I mean, this guy has been making mistakes since he got on board. He's my opinion, he's been the wrong guy for Disney since he came on board because he lacks any vision. He just remakes things, right? Eisner took creative risks, his predecessor, right? This guy doesn't. So this guy was always going to end badly because you need a place like Disney has to always be not on the edge politically. It has to be on the edge creatively. It has to be trying things that people want, right? And he doesn't have the guts to do that. So now he's trying to clean up the mess he created.
That's crazy. Bonzo Killbone, winter is coming. The ground is coming, as you said, Ms. Pasha. Ground's coming soon. John 42, Latino sign Kamala Pasha are awesome.
Thank you.
We got Manolo Rivera, recent member of the channel. Now scarcity breeds innovation, as you were saying. Agreeing with you.
I mean, that's the basic premise of any functioning economic theory. Is that there are scarce resources. Now, on a mystical, philosophical level, is that really true? It doesn't matter. It's how human beings believe. Human beings live in a world where they believe they have limited resources. And so they're going to compete with them for resources. And how do you organize that competition? That's an economic system.
Yeah. All right. So we got Neil, member of the channel. I have some friends in the industry as writers, and they tell me the good ones are avoiding Lucasfilm. It's hard to support a studio that tosses you aside like a pair of socks. My friend's words, not mine.
So I actually responded to this in the chat, but I'll say for everyone here. So thank you for saying that, Neil. You're not wrong. But this is also not new. I know that people are saying it too. I have those who know on my Patreon. I featured those people. I have good friends who have written movies for Kathleen Kennedy that have not been made within the Star Wars universe, who've shared with me a lot of insight as to dealing with her and the system there, right? So if you go to Patreon, you'll hear some of those stories, right? But so, yeah, you're not wrong. But this is also, as I said in the chat, this is not new. Ridley Scott said this publicly about maybe 5 years ago. At a time when Kathleen Kennedy was still being perceived by Hollywood as the power player of Lucasfilm. And he's Ridley Scott, if you remember, said, they're never going to hire me because I'm going to bring it in under budget, and do it right. That this is when the Solo disaster happened. When they let the directors of Solo be released and brought Ron Howard in after 90% of the movie had already been shot. Ridley Scott said, what is this garbage? I mean, if you hired me, the movie would be done correctly, on time, under budget, but you're not going to hire me. He said that publicly. He says other sophisticated filmmakers don't want to deal with that. And that has been something that Ms. Kennedy has, unfortunately, a culture she created, which Mr. Favreau is trying to get people out of. But like you fans that are not convinced that anything is changing, there are filmmakers that are convinced. They're like, I don't want to waste my time on this. You show me something that works, that everyone's happy with, and and that the process was good and my colleagues aren't complaining about, then I'll think about it. And that's the sad legacy that he has to unravel.
Right.
Okay, let's move along.
So Sam,
let's move along.
Is this your chance to scoop Miss Riley for a project?
Daisy Ridley.
Oh, God, she's a fantastic actress.
She's a great actress.
She's really good.
She was given garbage and she made the best out of it, right? She's the best she could. Her career is in the doldrums. That's why she's sadly participated in this Ray movie fraud, because she's trying to get it.
She wanted to get her. I believe that Bonso, she did that charade, just so she can get Disney to promote and distribute her movie about her being a swimmer, which I hear is one of the best films of the year. A little indie film that she did. So that's what
and it worked.
You do for me, I'll do for you.
Yeah.
What's that?
It works. She got attention for it, which is what I said at the time, that she's going along with this because the little work she's getting, which is interesting, good indie films, right? Which are showcasing her real talent. She needs to bring attention to them. So
yeah, and the Rosa Parra the Rosa Parra critique on that's on our website. Rosa really dug it. So it was really well done. Cool. What else? Let's go.
Let's keep going.
It looks like a near majority of the poll concur, at least somewhat, with Mr. Karma's optimism. Yeah, there's a poll out there. You guys go check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, we as fans have to keep the pressure on the system to make good stuff. But I just don't understand the mindset, what I call the black pill mindset, the blob mindset. It's like a science fiction blob from the 50s, right? It consumes everything in anger. I just don't get that mindset of, coming on to social media and YouTube constantly being angry about Star Wars. Some of it's actually decent. Enjoy what you enjoy. But, I just don't get the thing of always being angry and always being unhappy. If you don't like it, just pull out. Right? Just stop watching it, right? But people aren't. People are watching and being angry and then complaining, right? I don't think that's healthy.
So okay, we got Cameron for like 13 more minutes, guys. Right. I gotta hit a political thing with him. So Fletcher, let's take them down. Let's bring up the one super chat. We love super chats. We love your comments, guys. We try to be as interactive with you all as possible. We read the super chats first, obviously, but we're getting to we have a time thing here. He's got to go pray at 1 o'clock, and we want to respect that. The Seaman for $5. It's possible that Disney went so woke due to Bob Iger's buying spree that needed ESG loans and maybe FTX.
It's very plausible because the pivotal thing that's underlying the point you're making, Seaman, which is a good point, and I've said it on my Patreon, which is that Bob Iger is not inherently woke. He's just a politician. He's going to whatever thinks is going to work for him, right? And when this was the official narrative of the industry and of the banking industry and of the political system, he went with it, right? And then society changed, and he is now trying to scramble to pull the company out of this hole of a bad ideological choice that he made because he's not a visionary. He follows the flock, right? And so the flock has gone off a cliff. Now the company's gone off of a cliff, and so we have these things. So I'm sure economic factors of finance, and I've talked about my theories on FTX. I still retain those theories as something. There's a hidden hole there from FTX. I think there's enough circumstantial evidence that something shady happened about FTX in this company. Whatever. But FTX, as we know, was backed by various politicians, right, in the Democratic Party, and so there were agendas involved in that. So yeah, this is a very plausible scenario you're saying, C-Man.
Okay, I want to thank you guys for the super chat and the membership gift. We need 2 more membership gifts, but for the super chat, let's thank you all.
The low rider is a little higher.
Okay, Cameron, it is up to you. What political article you'd like for us to hit first? Here's what I got. Pennsylvania's Latino belt. It was all white people. Arizona, Kamala Harris behind in Arizona polls, showing her Latino voter problem. General Latino election, Hispanic voters, is Trump up? And finally, Harris-Trump agreed to do separate town halls on Univision. What say you, Cameron?
Why don't we focus on something focused that can talk to a broader issue? Let's go to the Arizona article about Harris in Arizona, because I'm having these conversations with colleagues of mine in Hollywood just this week.
Sounds good to me. Going to bring it on up. And this is from Newsweek. According to Newsweek, Kamala Harris behind in Arizona as poll shows her Latino voter problem. As of today, at this time, in about 2 hours, she's finally visiting Douglas, Arizona, the border. After 3.5 years, she's finally visiting, boots on the ground, gonna go and check out the border.
And she's the border czar, right? She's been the border czar.
Incredible. Absolutely just incredible. I want to go to these numbers and I want to get your thoughts there, Cameron.
Yeah.
A Marist poll conducted between September 19th and 24th shows Trump with a narrow 1-point lead over Harris among likely voters in Arizona, holding 50% to 49%. The gap widened slightly among registered voters, 2 points. Okay, check this out. In 2023, 33% of Latino voters voted for Trump, up from 30% in 2016.
Mhm.
Nationally, 38% of Latino voters voted for Trump in 2020, up from 28% in 2016. This has gone up, guys, into the low
But there's
40s.
a trend. There's a trend. It keeps going in one direction.
It's gone up to the 40s. And this is the opposite trend. 59% Joe Biden. Joe Biden is actually a better candidate for Latinos than Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Right? As far as numbers.
Mhm.
Now, let's read this. Between that same time, Trump had support from 41% of Hispanic voters in Arizona compared to the vice president's 49%. That is horrible for the vice president. Absolutely horrible. When you're considering you need when Obama was up in the 70s, then Biden in the 60s, 49%. What does this say to you, Cameron Pasha?
Well, it's a conversation I actually had on a screenwriters board just 2 days ago. And whenever politics is discussed on a screenwriters board, it gets very heated because most screenwriters are very liberal. They don't really want any new information that that shakes up the bubble of how they think the world works. But I was pushing back as a minority. I have a little bit of the minority card, even though they kind of resent me bringing in, well, I'm a minority, so I have a perspective on this. But I did it, and then others began to speak up on the board. And it was the issue of not just Latinos, but the African American community, the Black community, right? That there's been consistently increasing support for Mr. Trump. In the last election, I believe the Black community, is the highest support for Republican candidates since Nixon, right? And Nixon actually did really well. Nixon did really well. People don't realize in '72, Nixon had the backing of Malcolm X's widow, right? Betty Shabazz backed him. People don't realize that, right? Because he was pushing for what he called the Black Enterprise Program, pushing for Black entrepreneurship, right? And he had a massive surge in African American support. This is Richard Nixon, right? And so Trump, and then no Republican president after that until Trump was able to get to that level of support, right? So that's the African American. Now we're talking about Latinos. So the issue that I raised, which you are Latino and you can address it better, and there's Latinos in the audience, people who are familiar with the culture. So is that I think one of the major issues, there's two major issues, or maybe three. So the one major issues is cultural issues. People on the screenwriters board were finally admitting that Latinx had created that whole movement that Hollywood championed, that academics, white academics and Hollywood, white people in Hollywood, championed. Of trying to make Latinos adopt a gender neutral language that didn't exist in Spanish, right? And impose that on them and tell them this is who you are. This is coming from you when it's not coming from them, right? That this created a lot of resentment. People did not understand the level of resentment the Latinx mantra was creating in this community, right? There were people, as their actors just want to survive. So many actors went along with it. They're all like a Latinx. And when they realized that was becoming a problem in their own communities, they went to Latine, right? Rather than just going Latina, because they're scared of being canceled by the people who could give them jobs if they dare to say Latino, I prefer Latino, right? I prefer Latina. They're scared of it. But they know that their community isn't happy with it. I think that the social issues as an observer and, talking to my Latino friends here, right? My DP on my short is Mexican, right? And, and people would be shocked at his politics, I think, right? At least Hollywood people would be, right? He's a very educated, sophisticated guy. And, he's got a lot of socially conservative viewpoints, right? That they didn't grasp because Hollywood white racists see Latinos as what they show on your average, CBS TV show every week. The only Latinos you see are like the illegal immigrant guy or being hunted by cartels. That's it, right? That's all you see. That's how they see them. They see them as your undocumented gardener who you pay, $1 an hour to do your work, right? That's how Hollywood, rich racists see things, right? So they can't imagine that Latinos are educated, have traditional values, respect their religion, respect traditional gender values, that have largely persisted for several thousand years, and maybe the narrative that's been coming up in the last few years has been somewhat new, right? And so that I think has been the major issue. I think that, and this I think I really feel I should defer to Latinos on this, but my instinct is that from my conversations with Latinos in Hollywood, there's a lot more conservatism towards the border and border issues than I think people realize, right? There is a sense that, maybe there are people coming in from the border that aren't safe for our community, right? And I would like to defer to get more analysis from the Latinos, but you and people in the community. But I get the sense that there's a lot more willingness to have, border regulation. Latinos, especially in Arizona, my father is buried in Phoenix. My parents lived in Phoenix, right? I know Arizona very well, right? So Arizona, my sister lives in Texas, go there, right? And so these are communities that are dealing with chaos that comes from an unregulated border. I'm a libertarian politically, right? That's what I am, right? And so and you can make a libertarian case for either. They're either open borders or not. I tend to be of the view that, like a home, you have a right to put a lock on your home, right? That, having a good wall on your personal home gives you safety to be able to trade and connect freely with your neighbors, right? So I tend to be of the thing that I understand, border regulation, right? Even though I also believe that peaceful people should be able to migrate. I think both can be done, right? I think you can have both things, right? People should be able to migrate, and you should be able to also make sure that they are people that are bringing value to your society. I think both can be done, right? And I think many Latinos are of that view. So I'm going to stop there and maybe get some feedback. I only have maybe about less than 10 minutes. So I'm going to get some feedback from you now.
I'm going to connect to another story real quick, and it's a video. Because I want you to see this video, and it really is kind of the desperation of the left and the complete fantasy that they're living in. What is happening right now in Arizona, Pennsylvania, in general, the general is that everyone's getting to know Kamala as a candidate. Whether they love her or not, that's up to them. But you're seeing the poll numbers suggest something. With Latinos, it's really clear where they are going. Okay? So I think that is the big thing that is happening right now. And especially in Arizona, where it is completely so different than California, just as far as their problems, as far as what they have to deal with the border, but also too just it being a different state. Now, we're going to bring up John Leguizamo's religious Latino supporters supporting Trump over Kamala Harris are homophobic. I want to bring this video up. I want you to listen to him and how and what his advice is, because he's getting, this is desperate times, right? So hold on a second. Here we go.
Kamala Harris is polling at around 55% for the Latino vote.
Can you hear
it? Joe Biden holds 61%.
But Trump is low. But Trump is nowhere near those numbers.
Well, Trump's in the
Trump is at 35%.
I thought he was in the 40s.
Kamala's still doing way better. And you just got to be more aggressive. You got to court us. We're not going to be there waiting for you. You got to come to us and give us what we need. You got to have Latin consultants. You have to have Latin experts. You have to talk about our issues. You have to come into our communities. You got to have people that look like us and represent us by.
Okay. There's your problem. Right? John is saying, well, Kamala's doing better. She's not. 49%.
Well, who's his audience for this? Remember, his audience is people he wants to. This guy's looking for work. He's always looking for work.
Right? And Trump, even in the mid 30s, Trump is doing great, way better. But we're tracking 41%, that is unprecedented. Also, too, with Johnny Legs, he's saying they're not coming to us. You got to come to us. Who is this us, John? Who is this monolithic us? Because obviously, someone is speaking to the Latino voter, and you're saying that what? They're completely ignorance. They're a bunch of ignorance. You got to have people that look and sound like them to go and court them. They hate that stuff. They can smell inauthenticity a mile away. And that is, I really believe, is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
See, he's approaching this as like as a DEI, you know, approach. Oh, well, you know, you gotta have someone that looks and thinks like us, and that's wrong. You just gotta have a great candidate. You gotta speak to
somebody
the real
who shares
issue.
the values and the goals of the community, right? You know,
Well, just the real
he's
issues.
thinking in these terms. He's thinking in terms
Look
of
at-
physical appearance and words.
Yeah, listen, just what are your issues on the ground in your everyday life? It's completely different from people in Arizona to people in Los Angeles to people in Florida to people in New York. Let's play a little bit more of this.
On your side, you gotta have Bad Bunny on one side and America Ferrera on the other.
That is an interesting point because a lot was made about Taylor Swift's endorsement a few weeks ago. And there are people who would like to see someone from the Latino community, a big celebrity, an artist, step forward with an endorsement like that. You mentioned Bad Bunny there. Is that something that you think would really make a difference?
I think for the young folk, definitely. I mean, Bad Bunny's the biggest artist in the world, and really huge in the Latin community. So he would get some young folk out there for it. And you know, the Latino population is, the majority of us are under 26 years old. I mean, I'm just a little bit above that.
Just slightly.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think a single celebrity at the end of the day is gonna sway votes. I think this is a bad trend in Hollywood, and I'm talking. And listen, and if any of your Hollywood friends are listening, Cameron, I'm talking to you guys. You know that I see how you guys operate in the bubble. It looks great, it sounds great, all that stuff, but that's not the real world. Even if you go out of the greater Los Angeles County, it's not the real world. You go to these small cities. You go to working class cities in California. It's not the real world that you're in, and the way that he's addressing that those opinions, you know, the way he's getting over his thoughts, it's completely wrong. It's completely wrong. You got to say, you know what? Kamala and her people, they need to get into the streets. They need to show up. They need to do every interview every day. They should have been doing this. They should have been doing this. Whatever Trump has been doing, she should have been doubling that, not the opposite. And you're seeing that the voters are not dumb. They're catching on. They're seeing prices from everything from eggs. Man, from how much were those eggs? $20?
Yeah. And you know, and look, the reality is Hollywood people that I talk to are in a bubble when the inflation, screenwriters brought up inflation is a bigger issue. Liberal screenwriters said my neighbors are going to vote for Trump because they believe the economy is mismanaged and inflation. And then Hollywood people will say, well, look, the egg companies are part of a cabal that are fixing prices. Okay. So they always have a story why that's not true because they don't want to face reality, right? But reality happens anyway. And this applies to Hollywood and this applies to the YouTubers. This applies to the world, right? You know, the world is moving forward in directions that cannot be controlled. And you know, I've had some exchanges here in the chat with some people who are less hopeful about Mr. Favreau and direction. It's fine. You can be less hopeful. Things are still going to move forward whether you like it or not. Miss Kennedy won't be there forever. She's not immortal, right? Anyone's been following my Patreon has known for quite some time that she's essentially president emeritus, right? Doesn't have any power, or whatever. You don't have to believe that. You will see it with time, whether you like it or not. Things will move in a direction because economics move things in a direction, you know. And if Ms. Harris wins, I think economics will further the move of Latinos in a certain direction, right? Because they'll feel increasingly dissatisfied. So even if she wins, it's not going to change the trend of where things are going, right? And that's what I think we all need to be of. There is we talk about trends in voting. There are trends in society. Society is moving away from, as long as it's moved away from the wokesterism of the last decade, right? And it's moving away from bad economic ideas. It's just people survive when, look, we've been through hell since the pandemic and how that was handled or mishandled and all that stuff. We've been through hell for 5 years. We are a broken people that need to now be practical. Like I have to figure out my monthly rent, and we got to figure out my monthly budget more than I've ever had to in my life, right? You just got to do it, and that forces you to make real choices. Guess what? That same monthly budget, I got to face real choices, is facing everybody in Hollywood right now. That's why 300 people got let go. So people think Jon Favreau is like, some people are like, well, he let Lizzo on. You focus on one little thing rather than what he's trying to do in a system. One thing I will say, is the last thing I'm going to say, is that many of the fans that are impatient and unhappy with Mr. Favreau's best efforts to do this, right, do not understand how to survive in this system. They just don't grasp it, right? They just don't. I mean, I've survived 23 years and barely, because I'm very out there with political and religious views that are unpopular in the society, right? In the community I'm in. I barely survived it. People who have the mindset of a lot of the people that are commenting in the YouTube world, social media world, on how things should be, can't survive here in this industry, because you're surrounded by 100 people that are trying to take your job away from you, who may or not believe the politics they're saying, but they're saying what they think the boss wants to say. The moment they identify you as someone against the grain, they've got their target to get rid of you. Everyone has to figure out how to needle this thread, and you're not going to like every single aspect of needling the thread. But the goal is to survive, to achieve something, and that is being done. If that's not, I know for a fact, for people who are like, well, it should be this way, would be fired within 1 week. I survived 6 months at Disney when I finally said it should be this way, and I got fired the next day when I said it should be this way. I was let go the next day when I said things have to be this way. I kept my mouth shut for 6 months. People here can't keep their mouth shut for 5 minutes on social media. They ain't going to survive this town. Favreau has survived decades, and he will continue to survive because he knows how to thread the needle to stay alive one more day to try to make an improvement. And with that, I do need to start heading out, my friend. I got to get ready for the prayers. So I want to thank all of you in the chat who've commented. Please support this channel with super chats, with subscriptions, memberships. Come join me on my Patreon. You can argue with me about this there. There's actually disputes and disagreements on the Patreon. Yes. It's actually worth your $5 a month. It really is. We have an amazing several hundred people now who are engaging and bringing fascinating points that I've never thought of, and elevating the conversation. And we've created a really lively community. So come join us, and then you can argue with me in public. And if you're an artist, you can do screenwriting consulting with me. If you have a novelist, you can do consulting with me on the Patreon. I've done it. I've had people on the Patreon who consulted with me, and now, and some of them are in the chat, have gone on to win screenwriting awards. I've gone on to win festivals after I worked with them.
Beautiful.
And that's true. They're in the chat right now. And so come join me. There's hope and positivity and creativity like there is on Latino Slant. So with that, my friend, I'll let you sign off. Thank you so much for letting me be on.
Thank you, brother. You have a good prayer, and then we'll chat later on. God bless.
God bless everyone. Take care.
There he goes. Cameron Pasha. Follow him on the latest news in Hollywood. Patreon. Cameron Pasha. And let's read the Lucasfilm thing, and then we're gonna move on.
When Lucasfilm get its act together, the winner is maybe Favreau is the way with 37%. Second, no, Kenobi, Acolyte short, and third we got Star Wars at home.
Star Wars.
And last, Force is still. The force is still strong. It is. So it was like a little bit of that was winning for a little bit, but then it kind of shifted. So thank you to everyone who voted. 111 votes.
111 votes, man. We got a lot of people still hanging out with us. Hope everyone is doing well. We're here every Friday right after Midnight's Edge. I want to thank Andre for the redirect, all the Midnighters. I also want to thank Cameron Pasha and all the people from his Patreon. Love seeing you guys here. And before we go on to our next Hollywood item, let's shout out to you got some shout outs. We got some stuff to announce. Go for
it. The chat.
Yeah, we go.
We got Johnny Gonzalez gifted 1 Latino Stand membership. And Bonzo was able to snatch it up.
Bonzo, you snatcher. You got it, man. You get to see an exclusive video today. Today it's out. Johnny Gonzalez, Bonzo Kilborn. 2 out of 3. We need 1 more gifted a Latino Slam membership. And then we have met our goal today. What else do we got? Super chat me. Super chat.
Another super chat by Carlos Lima, member of the channel. really don't like to be labeled Latinx.
No. Carlos Lima for $2, member of the channel. Carlos, I really don't like to be labeled Latin X. Yeah, you know, it's real sneaky peeky, right? Because I was reading was it Turner Classic Movies channel, their Hispanic Heritage Month, and how they were describing it, and then how they were describing the movies that they're presenting for the month. And wherever they could, they were getting that X word in there. I'm like, y'all still doing that? Do I need to write a letter? Do I need to do a video and send the video to you guys? Because you can't do that. And then it shows the ignorance by the guy that wrote it. I was pretty peeved, Carlos. I did not like it. Maybe I'll do a video. You know, we'll see. We'll see, guys. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you for the $2. Thank you for the super chat. Let's give y'all a little what is it? Little Mexican Iron Man. Where's the little Mexican Iron Man? There he is. Okay, who else do we got? Let's hit this.
We got Daniel Arson says,
sorry, Daniel. Let's hit member chats. People who are members. Let's go, Johnny. I see the issue. They're going to legs as a rep of the Latino community. It is an issue because I'm not saying people don't agree with him, but what I'm saying is that it's like Latinx. It's like 3%. It really is. The majority just don't agree with what Johnny is saying. I'm talking about the majority of Latino voters. All right, what's next? Thank you, Johnny. Manolo, member of the channel. Haha, who gives a shite about celebrity endorsement? Talk about living in a bubble. Do you care about celebrity endorsements when as far as you're voting for your future leader of your country, Fletcher?
Oh yeah, that's very important for me.
Okay, it's very important for Fletcher, but no, I just don't think it moves the needle. In fact, I think Value Entertainment did a report at the end of the day with registered voters that the Taylor Swift endorsement initially got 3,000 only registered voters, but then the backlash happened. So how about the endorsement of Jose, who owns a business on 3rd Street and Soto in East LA. How about an endorsement of him and his employer, and his employees? Get those types of people, get those endorsements. Forget celebrities, forget other politicians, forget all that noise. Get the real people to endorse you. All right.
No, cool. I mean, once you get endorsed by Taylor Swift, that's it. That's all you need. They should do a poll. Do you care about celebrity endorsements?
Hey, let's put it up. Let's put it up right now. We'll do it right now. What does Fatal J say? I saw Fatal J in the. I'm creating this as we go.
X right now.
Oh, he's on X. What does he say?
Chat by X.
What did he say?
He says, "Sup, Polly? Hope all is good. Well, your way, my brother."
Hey, thank you, Fatal J. It's been a long time, man. I can't remember the last time we even got on a live stream together. That's we got to fix that, Fatal J. What are you doing Monday nights?
Comic book's doing great.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, he has, I think, it's the 2nd issue of his comic, his Ninja comic, that came out a little bit ago, and it's actually doing fairly well.
Okay, see, look at that's why we got the great Fletcher O. Williams here. Okay, cool. What else is next? I'm still writing up this poll.
All right. The Equalizer said, I do believe that the actual stats are worse for Harris. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. The treatment of the people coming across the border is egregious. I'm not opposed to immigration, but letting it happen with no control is abusive to the immigrants, especially children and their own.
Okay, the poll is up. Start voting now. Do you care about celebrity endorsements? Yes, with me, please. No, I got celebrities at home. You like that, Fletcher? Did I do you justice?
Very good. Very good.
All right, where are we now, brothers? Let's
see.
Okay, can we go to a story or what?
Yeah, let's go.
Do we want to do a pop culture story? Or do we want to get another political story? What do you think?
Yeah, let's see. What was the chat say?
Okay, chat. Here's another. We'll do it in the chat. Pop or politics for the next story. We got a bunch for you. We want to try to get through them all, but what do you say, guys? Pop or politics for our next story? Because we definitely got some fun stuff. Pop? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Pop. Okay. Here we go. The LatinoSlant.com. You like that? By Alfredo Galindo, the top 5 Mexican actors of 2024. This is a fantastic rundown, not only of who is up and coming, who's hot right now, very but what projects they're doing. And very well done by Alfredo Galindo. Let's go right now. Last weekend to kickstart Hispanic Heritage Month on September 15th, Mexican actors and directors Gael Garcia and Diego Luna stepped into the Emmy Awards. So we go on talking about representation for your consideration. Here are the top 5 Mexican actors of 2024. Number 5, Isa Gonzalez. Tell us about Isa.
She's an actress that was basically she got her start doing music and soap operas as a kid actress in Mexico, and then started doing more adult stuff, and then started doing stuff in the U.S. Her more memorable stuff that she started with, I guess, she was in the From Dusk Till Dawn, doing the role of Salma Hayek for the TV show. I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of broke her into the American audience for a lot of people. But then she went on to be in a lot of different movies, and she's soaring ever since. She's on everything now.
She's on everything right now. And Alfredo says her Emmy-nominated Netflix series, 3 Body Problem, also took the opportunity to join her fellow countrymen, Gael Garcia Bernal and Luna, to promote the aforementioned Hulu series La Máquina. They're in a new TV show called La Máquina on Hulu, where she plays the boxer's romantic interest. She also just wrapped up the action drama In the Gray with Guy Ritchie. It's also starring Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal, to be released next year. So that is something to look forward to. Speaking of Guy Ritchie, Guy must love Isa because she was one of the best parts of what is it? Unlawful
Warfare, this one.
Right. Unlawful Warfare of Gentlemanly, whatever. That is the worst title, man. It was a good film. I had a lot of fun. And she was in it. Okay. Number 4. Speaking of, there he is, Diego Luna. He was at the Emmys. And, of course, like we said, in La Máquina. He's going to return in the much-awaited 2nd season of Andor. And he's also leading. He's one leading into the Star Wars universe. Diego Luna has been consistent, Fletcher. What are your thoughts on Diego?
No, he's always been working. He's got great connections at home. I think his parents have a little bit of a connection in Mexico that he was able to get.
I'm asking,
really
what do you
good
think of his
roles.
acting? We're talking about, these are the top 5 actors.
I was never a big Diego Luna. You know what I mean? And I guess the one movie that I think my wife saw him with was in Rogue One, when He played and yeah, she yeah, that was like the for her. It wasn't like the thing for her, you know. It was like it took her out a little bit. She didn't really like his acting. I think he does well with the indie stuff, like Tu Mamá También and stuff like that.
In Spanish,
the Hollywood stuff, yeah, the Hollywood stuff. I think you can tell his heart's not in it. I guess, that's part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think when he's in the indie stuff, I think he puts his heart in it, and when he's in the big time movie stuff, it's just like, all right, gotta get my paycheck so I can do what I want.
I've always thought that Diego was kind of mid, a little forgettable, pleasant enough. I thought he did an admirable job in Andor, but obviously I liked the Skarsgård character better, just the character. So I loved him in Y Tu Mamá También, but that's like what, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
So yeah. But hey, he's hot, and that's why Alfredo put him on the list. Just because this is from the LatinoSlant.com doesn't mean I have to agree. Number 3, Eugenio Derbez, just in time for the win of Best Actor Feature Film 2024, Sundance winner Radical. Derbez has a second season to celebrate, and season 4 of the Apple Plus series Acapulco. Not just that, right in time for Day of the Dead, new series La Llegaron de Noche, which is the real story of the crew who shot in the Universal sets of the horror classic Dracula in the early 30s. That looks great. I cannot wait for that one. It's like the horror classic Dracula is pretty infamous at this time because the Spanish version, the crew had to shoot at night, like they had to shoot graveyard, while Bela Lugosi shot during the day. So that's what this story is about. That's going to be on VIX. I want to see this.
Nice.
I want to see that.
As hot actors, they're just being like hot as in like working, right? Like, they're on fire and work.
Well, I mean, listen, this is Alfredo's list, and as far as this actors invading or being hot, coming out of Mexico into Hollywood, right? For your consideration, right? This is who he sees. What are your thoughts on Derbez's acting?
No, he's a very talented actor. I mean, he mostly I just know him for comedies. He's done a lot of comedies recently. He's blowing up in the drama field. I think he wants to be taken more seriously as an actor, and he's spreading his wings. I was just say I do have his the movie where he played a teacher, kind of like on the queue to watch with my wife. I told her about it.
Coda?
So
Radical.
Yeah. So
it's a good film.
Yeah.
It's a good film.
He's he's doing a lot. He's got a lot of production power right now, and I think he can probably greenlit anything he wants, anytime right now.
Well, with Radical, it's one of the better films of last year. I think it's on my honorable mention, but he gathered that money to film it himself. It was a big challenge. Once he filmed it, though, he has the connects in Hollywood it got a distribution deal and it got some notoriety. Derbez, I think that Spanish Dracula behind the scenes series could be really special. So we'll wait and see. So number 3, there you have it. Who's number 2? Hubba. Who is this?
I don't know. I mean,
at number 2,
talk
Melissa
about her.
Barrera.
Yeah.
Melissa, what you been doing, girl? The Monterrey, Mexico-born began the 2024 making headlines right after being fired in pre-production of the Scream 7 film because of the comments she made online towards the Israeli war with Palestine. Career-wise, the controversy mostly helped her with the spring release of Abigail, and she maintains as she maintains her stance toward that topic. Next month, she'll be on the big screen again with the Sundance hit Your Monster, a rom-com horror film written and directed by Caroline Lindy based on the 2019 short film, just in time for Halloween. Number 2, Melissa Barrera. What are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, this she's been making some moves. Basically, ever since she started the whole thing where she can exit a soap opera project in Mexico, it's been like she's been kind of like a wildfire. So it's interesting to see how she's doing, some stuff here in Hollywood too. It's, she doesn't change, the way she is. She's just, she's like, hey, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. So it's interesting to see how this new film does for her, because I think it's only built on her. I haven't even heard if anybody else is on it. It's just, there's just her on that. It's a lot of weight on her shoulders on it. So hopefully it does well for her.
Yeah, it's the only, she's the only name in the project called Your Monster, and it was Rosa Parra's favorite movie out of Sundance. But at that point, it did not have distribution at all. Then it took a few months, and then it was bought, and then a few months later, the distribution deal and the announcement that it's being released for Halloween. Perfect, because it's like a Halloween rom-com. We'll see. I actually think Abigail was a lot better than it was a financial flop. Let's be honest.
Right.
But it was
which was surprising.
Yeah. I mean, I think it made its money back. I shouldn't say flop. I mean, it was like what, $30 million? Why don't you check the budget for Abigail? I think what's interesting is Melissa being number 3 on this list, according to Alfredo, because I asked Alfredo, hey, there's so many Mexican actors doing work now coming to the States, TV and film. Who are your top 5? Right? And as he sees it, it's Melissa because of Scream, because of Abigail, and now Your Monster. And Issa, I think those are the only 2 women on this list. We're at number 2. But, we're not talking about actors from here who are Mexican American. This is from Mexico, straight import. Whereas Jen Ortega.
It looks like
yeah, go ahead.
The budget was $28 million.
Okay.
And it grossed, worldwide gross was 42.
Okay, so I think it probably barely covered its receipts. 28 million budget, 42 million. Abigail had a little bit of a marketing thing, and then it went on to streaming. So it probably broke even. There you go. That's not great, but it's not bad. I wish it had done like 100 million, honestly, because it deserved it. It's a really good film. I recommend Abigail. All right.
And this one, it's lower, right? I mean, the budget for this.
Oh, Your Monster is really low. I can't imagine it being more than $5 million. Correct.
Right.
Oh, whoops. There you go.
Well, we do have request in the chat to leave the picture on for a while.
Yeah, and I was scrolling down, and it was just on her chest for a second. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Melissa. We love you, Melissa. Okay, here we go. Number 1, the number 1 actor out of Mexico, according to Alfredo Galindo, Manuel Garcia Rulfo. Who? Wrapping up the 2024 with a bang after a successful world premiere and wave reviews at the recent Toronto Film Festival, Guadalajara's native is going to be a Netflix darling next October and November. First, coming back as the lead protagonist in the hit The Lincoln Lawyer, season 2, I think, or season 3 coming up. And later on, just in time for Day of the Dead, is Pedro Páramo, the leading character in the famous novel by notorious writer Juan Rulfo. He's also part of the new Jurassic World cast. It's Manuel's time. Okay, what is your thoughts on Manuel Rulfo?
Yeah, this one, I mean, I don't have much on it because I haven't really watched all of the Lincoln Lawyer. I thought the first couple of episodes were pretty good. but I haven't heard anything from him yet. So I think on this one, it's it's a lot of it's the build up. I think on the next projects maybe.
I think he's incredible to watch. I think he's got range. Yeah, I first saw him in a bit role on the remake of what is the Western with Denzel and Chris Pratt.
He was the Vasquez in the Magnificent Seven.
Correct.
Yeah, he was funny in that.
Correct. And then to see him as Mickey Holloway in Lincoln Lawyer, very nice measured performance. I haven't gotten around to season 2 yet, but it's very popular. But this film is definitely going to be Pedro Paramo is going to be huge for him. Going to be huge for him, and he's very likable. He's got that look to where he can play out of his race, or I should say, out of his ethnicity easily. You know, he can play Middle Eastern, he can play Italian, he can play, Mediterranean, if you catch my, sort of a lot like Anthony Quinn back in the day, Montalban and Jose Ferrer. He's got a very classic leading man, looks. So, yeah, I think it is Manuel's time. Then he's going to be in Jurassic World, the new one. Hey.
Oh, he's going to be in Jurassic World? Yeah. I mean, so it's got a lot of big time stuff coming out.
It's got some big stuff coming up. So there you have it, guys. Number 1, Manuel Rulfo. Number 2, Melissa Barrera. Number 3, Eugenio Derbez. Number 4, Diego Luna. Number 5, Isa Gonzalez. Those are your top 5 Mexican actors. I think we should just disqualify Diego Luna.
It's honorable mention.
It's like, did I do honorable mention?
But he's got Andor coming up. Coming up.
I'm just being a little hater. I thought I had honorable mentions in there. You know what? That was a different list where I included Renata Vaca. And well, we got to do it. We got to do a spotlight on Renata. Okay, what's the chat saying? I got one. Let's bring this up. Osvaldo Lopez, member of the channel. What's up, Osvaldo? Why are you guys live when I'm at work?
I know, it's one of those things.
Well, we are live Friday daytime, Monday nighttime. So what you can do is watch the replay during the weekend. We love that. And then on Monday nights, join us in the live chat, man. In the live chat. So, what else are people saying? Let me see. Let's go to chat. Okay, you do what you got to do. So do you like it when you see the green screens and all that, or is it the original film version? I always knew. I don't know what this is in relation to. So, that's it. I think they're having a conversation. You guys are talking OT originals. I think you guys are talking original Star Wars. Correct? Okay. We got over 132 of you guys still hanging out with me. I think Fletcher's gonna jump ship for a little while, and that is okay. Give your wife our best. We definitely got plenty to cover. Okay, this was pretty funny, guys. I want to get to this. We're going to go to Pennsylvania, and we are going to a political story. It's popping politics, man. Come on. We're going to do it. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best. Linda Catalina, who's on X, posted this in regards to Pennsylvania. Let's bring up Pennsylvania. Political talk. There's a Latino belt in a certain part of Pennsylvania, and we're going to let this video speak for itself. Going back to celebrity, let's just let this video speak for itself, guys. Linda, you know what? Let's hit this. We got the volume. Okay, here we go.
So I just got back from a Kamala Harris rally, and it was all about Latinos. And the first thing that I saw was this Hummer that was blasting reggaeton. They actually even flew out 2 super famous Puerto Rican actors, and I looked around, and it was all white people. Actually, at one point, I went up to this woman who had dark hair, and I was like, "Are you Latina?" And she was like, "I'm Italian." And that's kind of how it went all day. I did manage to speak to probably about 5 Latino voters, and one city official I spoke to guessed that there were probably less than 50 Latinos there out of about 1,500 attendees. Okay. The Latino belt, which is made up of counties like Northampton, Berks, Luzerne, is really important, especially to the Harris campaign. Okay. And the director of Hispanic media for the Harris campaign told me it's going to be really tight. You know, it's going to come down to the wire. Like in 2020, Northampton County, which is where the rally actually was, Biden won by less than 2,000 votes. And so they're really out there fighting for every vote. And in the words of the first Latina president of Allentown's city council,
okay. Who?
We don't have this in the bag yet. I'm Olivia Reingold. If you want to read my dispatch from the Latino Belt in Pennsylvania, you can check it out at.
Okay. All right. So, okay. What does Linda had? She's the one who posted this. What did she say here? Watch reporter says she attended a Harris rally in PA that was all about Latinos, but when she looked around, it was all white people. She said she managed to speak to maybe 5 Latinos. City Hall said they were about less than 50 at the rally. And all right, well, okay.
I just got back from a Kamala Harris rally, and it was all about Latinos. And the first thing that I saw was this Hummer that was blasting reggaeton.
Okay, so here's a problem right here. Okay. Not every Latino likes reggaeton, but let's say they all do, and you got a bunch there. How can you talk about anything of substance with that music being played so loud? Ow. Hey, give me a vote. That don't make no sense. But you know, as you guys listen, at the Dodger game, they play a wide variety of Latino music because they know their audience. And the audience is like just having a good time, want the Dodgers to win, different types of music, reggaeton, Mexican regional, boom, boom, boom. Here, I would have put it on low, maybe put some boleros on, because boleros seem to be more kind of like boleros and some like son, some soft salsa, and you know that's easy on the eyes, not easy on the ears, nothing too crazy. Put it on low, put it in the background, and talk to voters. How about that? Okay, how about that? I'm marking some. Los Doyers. PA doesn't want her. Ace, member of the channel. Baza. Can't stand reggaeton. It is one of the few genres I can't stand. Listen, I'm with you, but women love it. And when you're dancing and in the club, I'm a fan of it. But yeah, other than that, it can be pretty bad. Yeah, boleros. I'm telling you, man. Put them in the background. See, I'm already giving the Harris campaign some good pointers here. Okay.
They actually even flew out 2 super famous Puerto Rican actors.
Okay. Can you name these 2 super famous Puerto Rican actors? Go. There's one. There's the other. 2 super famous Puerto Rican actors. Can you name them? And I actually think one of them is Dominican. But it doesn't really matter because right. And I like those actors. I mean, I know them because Latino Slant, that's what we cover. No, not Jane. It's not John. So that's the first one is Anthony Ramos from Twisters. Hamilton. He was in Twisters. He was in the Heights. He's the lead of In the Heights. Very talented man. I think he's fantastic. But is he super famous? Come on. None of you guys in the chat knew who he was by name, right? The fellowship calls me. Have a super week. All right, you too. And then the other one just won an Emmy for The Bear. I think her name is Liza Zaya something. Here, she's great. I believe both of these guys are from New York. So super famous Puerto Rican actors. It's kind of a weird description. But who's their crowd? This is their crowd?
Actually, at one point I went up to this woman with dark hair. And I was like,
what? What
are you Latino?
What? That. All right. Hey.
At one point, I went up to this woman.
And you're wondering why you guys are having a Latino voting problem.
Hair.
Good God. Hey, if they're all Latinos, then I apologize. Yes, I am discriminating against all these fair-skinned, complected Latinos. Oh my Lord. It's a team who Benicio del Toro. You know what? Manolo Benicio is actually from he's Puerto Rican, but he's actually from Pennsylvania. That would have been smart, but I don't think he's gonna do any of that stuff. Wow. Oh, Lordy. And you wonder why they're having problems, guys. So yeah, the Latino belt there. Oh, we got with that Latino belt there. Oh boy, how you guys doing in the chat? We've still got a lot of you guys hanging out with me, and we're gonna wrap it up soon. I love to see all you guys. Mephisto, what's up, Mephisto? Maybe if they're from Spain or Argentina, lots of blonde-haired Latinos there. Yeah, but they're not because this is in the States. But, either way, that's a terrible, absolutely terrible outreach program. That is garbage. What's up, James? Hello. I'm ashamed there's something to do. Okay, so I know. I totally get it. I'm just like, it's just funny, man. It's just funny. She really likes those Latino stereotypes. I'm shocked, man. Listen. They should be just totally. Let's move on. What else do we got for you guys? I still haven't seen The Last of Us. I'm gonna wait to the end to do The Last of Us reaction. We'll wait to the end. How about that? But I do want to do it. Let's go to our final political story, and we'll make some announcements and all that good stuff. Harris and Trump agree to separate town halls on Univision. Who thinks this is going to go well? Let's bring this up from the hill. Wow. And thank you guys so much. Over 125 people of you guys hanging out on X and on YouTube. If you're on our YouTube channel, you can still vote right now. What's the poll? Do you care about celebrity endorsements? 54 votes. 93% of you do not care. That is indicative of just regular people. 93% of you guys. Okay? Don't care. Don't care about celebrity endorsements. We got celebrities at home. 67 of you guys in the YouTube chat. Smash the like, share, all that good stuff. But now let's go to this story. Harris-Trump agreed to separate town halls on Univision. That sounds kind of weird, no? Univision. All right. Both have agreed to 2 separate town halls in October, hosted by Univision. Journalist Enrique Acevedo will field audience questions from undecided Hispanic voters. Wow, okay. Trump will be the first to take on the stage on October 8th in Miami, followed by Harris in Las Vegas on October 10th. Both episodes will air with Spanish translation, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so they'll field audience questions. So there's going to be a live town. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so who do you think is really going to come out? Who's going to do better here? You got Trump on October 8th in Miami. Then you have Harris on October 10th in Vegas. So this is Univision, so I get it. Miami's like Univision's headquarters. Vegas is interesting. It's in Nevada. It's still up in the air. So we'll see how those go. October 8th, I want to check it out. What are you guys thinking? What are your thoughts? Let me know right now. 2 separate town halls, different locations, a desperate and ridiculous tactic. I don't know, man. I think it's Univision is huge, and they reach millions of voters. So it's you got to do Univision. I don't know why they're separate. I don't know what the whole deal with that is. To do something together, that's a debate. This is a town hall. One-on-one, the candidate with the people. Who's going to do better? Harris isn't going to do another debate. Yeah. Harris will lose. Harris should have gone on first. Why is that, Empress? Trump is going to do better. Where am I? Well, is this jumped? No, Harris did agree to a Fox debate. Trump is the one who said he wouldn't do it. Yeah, correct. Get your facts correct. Diana, hi Diana. Buffalo's Bills fan, huh? So, Harris agreed to the Fox invitation. Trump declined it. He says there's no reason for him to do another debate with her. Harris has the edge because they can feed her answers. Okay, well, if that's the case, fixed or not, who do you think is going to come off better in the long run? Who's going to get those undecided Hispanic votes? Remember, these aren't Cubans. These aren't decided votes. These are undecided voters. Trump will do better. Harris in Vegas will handpick her audience. Harris doesn't have experience in answering unscripted questions. Okay. Let's get back to the story. There are more than 36 million Hispanic eligibles to vote in the U.S., making them the largest minority in the country. With the power to influence the outcome of the race over the White House and the future of the nation, Coronel, president of Noticias, the news Univision, released that statement. Both of the selected cities have a large Hispanic population. Miami is 70%, while Vegas is 34% Hispanic. I think Vegas is a very interesting choice because you might as well done Chicago or done, but maybe she really wanted a battleground state. But why not Phoenix or Tucson? Again, within an hour's time, she's going to be at the border in Douglas, Arizona. Each state's voters have presented a narrow contest in recent polling. Trump boasts a slight lead among voters in Florida compared to Harris, who is topping Trump in Nevada. Well, there you have it, guys. Vice President Harris speaks in Espanol for Univision. October 8th and then October 10th. Trump is first. Let's get your thoughts on this. Baza, member of the channel, there seems to be conflicting info on who doesn't want a Fox debate. I don't think the Trump people feel they need to do another debate. He's just going to keep on doing interviews, and press conferences. It'd be interesting to see who does Joe Rogan, or if Joe even wants to do that. You know what I'm saying? Johnny, I'm one of those FL undecided. Are you going to go? That'd be interesting. What's the word on the streets over there? Manolo, her word salad answers will not work for that audience. Yee. I mean, it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting because it'll work if it's her audience, even though they're undecided. They're undecided, maybe Democrats, or I don't know. It really depends on the people that they bring in. Trump scored big with Theo Vaughn interview. I think this is. I haven't seen that one yet. Thank you, though. Maybe I'll see it this weekend. Maybe I'll listen to it this weekend. Lombardi, what's up, Lombardi? Kamala looks so confused during interviews. I think it's a question of authenticity, something she is not. See, I think that let's say I'm with a majority of her and the Democratic Party's stances on stuff. I'm not stupid to see that she just is not doing well with the media, and that people are starting to come around to that. I think that is what's been going on. And it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Should she do more interviews? Those don't go well. Should she not do interviews? People don't like that because people don't know who she is. So it's gonna be very curious. I'm very curious to see this border footage when it comes out. Her on the border. Wow. Okay. You guys have been wonderful. Is this new, the gifted membership? Or did we already announce that? I'm always a little lost without Fletcher. Los Doyers. What says 111? I'm gonna find the time here. And we're going to react to the... Oh, yeah. It's new. And that's it. Monkey Jeebus became a member of the channel. We now have 3 members. We've met our goal. Woo! Nice. Thank you, Johnny. Okay, for the members, for the new members, we'll play a little video and let you know what it all comes with. We'll be right back. All right. Thank you so much, Johnny Gonzalez, and to the new members of the Latino Slant. We are moving up towards 200 members. So what you guys get, exclusive videos. This week, you had 2. You had the exclusive first look at the movie The Wild Robot. Then you have a video that's staying exclusive. It was my breakdown of the ballerina trailer from a martial arts perspective. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I got to break it down from that perspective. It was a lot of fun. Got a lot of good comments, a lot of good reactions from the members. So you get that to enjoy. I want to thank Midnight's Edge for the redirect. I want to thank Kamala Pasha for bringing his wonderful people on. We've had a really great stream. I want to thank the members that are still hanging out with me. Jaime, Johnny, Baza, Manolo, Sander. What else do we got? And, oh, Lord Thoth, my dude. And we have friends like Lombardi, Carlos, Mephisto, Late Flicks. Just seeing Late Flicks here. Some new people. Good to have you here. Empress. Make sure you guys are subscribed, please. Diana. Love to have Diana here. Love seeing you here. Hope you've been well. Been a lot of fun. Pete. What's up, Pete? Okay, I'm gonna try to get out to see some films this weekend. I didn't get out last night. Honestly, wasn't feeling 100% like a couple days ago. Much better now, but I wanted to give it another good night's rest because I was gonna go see Wild Robot. I'm gonna get around to it this weekend, and there's a new Indian film I'll probably check out as well. And coming up, we're gonna have guests in the next couple of weeks, whether it's on our nighttime show on Monday nights or Friday during this time. We're gonna have guests. We're gonna have Nina Infinity. We're gonna have Michelle from Force of Light. That'd be great to get her political thoughts on stuff. And Nina, we're gonna do the nighttime stream. That's always a blast. And I'm working on a couple other people. I'm working on also too maybe some political people to come that are in the politics, like real politicians. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so let me do this. All right, let's do 2. I got 2 more. Let's do this one really quick because I'm a big fan of this show, this new TV show, and I want you guys to give it a shot. Menéndez brothers family slams Ryan Murphy's Monsters as repulsive. We're talking about the new Monsters TV show, the Menéndez brothers, a limited series. I've watched the first several episodes. Let's get to it right now as far as the story here. Lyle and Eric Menéndez's family are questioning who's the real monster following Ryan Murphy's recent Netflix portrayal. On Wednesday, Eric's wife, Tammy, shared a letter by his aunt on behalf of the 24 extended family members showing their support for the brothers, criticizing Murphy's repulsive depiction of their 1989 murder of parents Josie and Kitty Menéndez. We are virtually the entire extended family of Eric and Lyle. We're 21st strong, and today we want the world to know we support Eric and Lyle. We individually collectively pray for their release after being in prison for 35 years. We know them, love them, and want them home with us. Wow. They go on to say Ryan Murphy's Monsters is phobic, gross, serial episodic nightmare that is not only riddled with mistruths and outright falsehoods, but ignores the most recent exculpatory revelations. Our family has been victimized by this grotesque shock-drama. Murphy claims he spent years researching the case, but in the end relied on debunked Dominic Dunn, the pro-prosecution hack, to justify his slander against us, and never spoke to us. Oh, he never spoke to the family. The character assassination of who our nephew and cousins under the guise of storytelling narrative is repulsive, she continued. We know these men. We grew up with them since they were boys. We love them and to this day are very close to them. We also know what went on in their home and the unimaginably turbulent lives that they have endured. Several of us were eyewitnesses to many atrocities no one should ever have to bear witness to. It is sad that Ryan Murphy, Netflix, and others involved in this series do not have an understanding of the impact of years of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Perhaps, after all, Monsters is all about Ryan Murphy, they added. After Tammy, the wife, put the statement of slamming the show as naive and inaccurate depiction, Monsters actor Cooper Koch visited the brothers at the San Diego's correctional facility along with the fellow Murphy collaborator Kim Kardashian. Meanwhile, Lyle actor Chavez expects sympathy and empathy for the brothers in an interview with USA Today. After Tammy previously shared a statement from Eric slamming the show, the they went to go visit. Interesting. Murphy has defended the show, depicting many, many, many perspectives. Some of the controversy seems to be people thinking, for example, that the brothers are having an incestuous relationship. There are people who say that never happened. There are people who said it did happen. Wow. He goes on to say, this centers around Eric and Lyle Menéndez talking about the abuse, talking about their victimization, talking about what emotionally put them through that. Those two boys in our show to get their moment in court. And here's a photo of the actors portraying them. Javier Bardem as Jose. Despite the controversy, this is all too reminiscent of season 1's depiction of Jeffrey Dahmer, topping Netflix chart with 12.3 million views opening weekend. It's a big hit. This is a big hit. I will leave this link in the video box description for you guys. All I can tell you is it's facts aside, truth aside, it's absolutely riveting television. There's one episode that I think is probably the greatest piece of television I've seen all year. That episode's called The Hurt Man. I'm actually in watching this show, I've grown to be very sympathetic to the brothers. So that's just me as an outside person seeing this television show. And obviously Javier Bardem as Jose is scary good, strong acting. So whether that is the truth or it is a dramatization or pure dramatization, it is unfortunate that you're seeing the family come out and then the creators having to defend it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the show. That episode 4 got me, man. Or what episode called The Hurt Man. What do you guys think? Let me know. What do you guys think in the chat? Anyone see this show yet? A lot of viewers, man. Anyone here? Who sold the rights? It's been 35 years. Feels like half that long. It's gone by quick. Well, and then the case was in the 90s by the time that happened. I don't know who has maybe they did, and then Murphy kind of just went away from that. Didn't Edward James Olmos do a TV movie? Yes. Yeah. God, you're right. I can't remember that as well. Okay, we're almost out of here. Let's go now with the. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Been a fantastic, amazing live stream. If you guys are a member of the channel, throw up your emojis. Please say hello. Last of Us Season 2 has a trailer. It returns 2025. When is the exact release date? We don't have it here. Okay, we don't have that, but we have the trailer. Has anyone seen the trailer? I have not. Hello, Cam. How are you? Thank you so much. Thank you guys for the piñatas and all that good stuff. I'm a fan of the first season. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know anything in regards to that. I know there was some massive backlash on the Last of Us Part 2 and in regards to what they do to Joel's character. That I get it, but I never checked it out. I really liked season 1. But let's see what season 2 is all about. All right, I'm gonna make myself a little small. Last of Us season 2 trailer. I'm gonna be on max. It's 2 minutes. All right. Not bad. They made it to that frozen town. And she learns how to play guitar, or gets a little bit of a normal life, which they have, and he's playing it, and she sees him playing it. I don't know what's going on there. A lot of moments taken out of context, so there's not a. The only thing is that it's a therapist, so he's having a therapy session. I mean, Catherine O'Hara is great. And then as far as the action of this season, I guess they have their part of this. There's 2 things going on here, right? It's like there's the thing with Joel's character is that he did something terrible. Maybe this girl is part of what he did something terrible. Okay, I don't know if that's kind of new ground to cover. I don't know. Then there's an imminent threat to the town, which could be interesting. This guy's guy on looking point. And you got the zombie type people. She barely makes it out. And maybe this was someone. Maybe this was that. Is that the chick from? Someone attacks her. Oh. Yeah, they're showing her for a reason, but I'm wondering if I can get it. I got a feeling she's either Isabella Merced's character, or maybe she's, because they're really showing this female. Is this someone from the past, or is this someone from their recent past? What did you do? And then they're showing her. I forgot the name of this actress. But yeah, you know. So there's the rub. And then there's the outside agitators. Feel her love, right? Blood. Maybe they're like torturing her with the loved one. And then this is gruesome. That Jeffrey Wright's a part of. And they got the attack. That's probably going to be like a big ending of the season. Typical. A lot of crying. So we'll see. It's okay. I'm not really too excited right now. I think you could have had all this stuff, which it kind of had in the first season, part of the trailer, but it's like, you know what? Show me the scene between these two. Give me that scene. That's new. You know? What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts. That's my reaction. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna see we're gonna see if we enjoy the first trailer or the first season. And obviously, from what I hear, if they go with part 2, then Pedro's character gets killed off, right? So, yeah. Pedro's character gets killed off. Oh, Fletcher's back. What's up, man?
The actress name is what was it?
Zila? What's it? Zila?
Kathleen Dever.
Caitlin Dever is the actress's name. Yeah, but what's her character, right? That's going to be interesting. That's kind of the only thing I could get. You got Catherine O'Hara as the therapist at the beginning, but it's like, tell me what you did. It's like, but everything else is old hat. Correct. Zombie fat is over.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see it. Not sure if I'll watch it or not. All right, Lortha. You're kind of over nihilism, post-apocalypse tropes. I mean, well, what else? What else are people saying? Golf club incoming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you play the game.
Right, which is, another dystopian zombie apocalypse. I mean, I like season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Did you get through the stuff that starred?
No. Let me see. Go ahead. Oh yeah. We got through. We got through all the stuff that starred.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Nothing screaming me on that promo. Yeah, exactly. Fire Dragon. What's up, Fire Dragon? Member of the channel. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, honestly.
What did you think it was going to be? Because in the other one, they really explored a lot of things that maybe weren't in the game.
There's another trailer?
No. I'm just saying, remember in the first season? So you watched the first season with Romy. You guys enjoyed it. The first season, it didn't deviate off the game that much, but it did have some extra characters, a lot of development and certain things. You haven't watched it, not playing the game, so you're still going to be surprised about what's to come. What did you expect to see in this trailer?
Something new, because like a new scenario. So maybe that therapist, maybe give me some dialogue back and forth just in that scene, because Catherine O'Hara is a great addition. So she's new. Like, okay, great. Or even Isabella Merced's character, the girlfriend, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a little bit of that, because everything else was just like so, like, we're posing for the camera. It's like,
okay.
Which, listen, I mean, it's just whoever put the trailer together. It's just like, we've literally seen those characters, the main characters, in dire situations from season 1. So we're seeing that again.
Right.
Like, why is she crying? Why are they crying? Why are they playing guitar? Maybe just have the guitar scene. Reintroduce us to the two main characters. That's really cool. You don't even need the zombie, and then, maybe at the end, I don't know, but like,
right.
Like, I would have liked that. I mean, I think the ballerina trailer is so perfect and on point. It's kind of, this is like a letdown, but that's just me.
Oh, okay. Right. No, yeah. Well, that's the only way you can view it, as yourself. Like, what are you feeling when you see it? What's your initial reaction? What's your take on it?
Yeah.
You can't ask more than that. So.
Right. So it's definitely ho hum.
Well, your reaction says it all. It's a yawn.
Yeah. It's definitely a ho hum. I'm gonna check it out. They did a really good job with that first season. Right. But yeah, we'll see after that. Pedro has got, what has he got coming up this fall? Is Gladiator 2?
Yeah, Gladiator 2. Yeah. And this
will probably be out early January or early 2025. So that's about 2 years after the other one.
Okay.
So that's just another kind of problem that speaks to television nowadays. These seasons in between seasons is just way too long, man.
Yeah, because the first one, it was January 2023.
Yeah, that's just like way too long. So, but it's all right.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, there was a lot of award hype with it and stuff. So I think probably this one, they're probably going for that too. They're probably going to try to get some of that award stuff.
Yeah, it'll get nominated. It's all, and that's part of the bubble that they're in. Whether it deserves it or not, we'll see.
And how many episodes is this?
I think the Penguin is, gonna should get some some acclaim, hopefully some awards. Colin Farrell's performance is great. How many
seasons is this one? The second one?
How many episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
The first one was 9 episodes, right? So I saw the thing. The next one's 5 episodes. Because
7.
Seven.
Season 9. Season 1 was 9 episodes. Season 2 is 7.
Oh, so they even cut the episodes time on this one.
Yeah.
Well, Pedro's has got Gladiator 2.
Okay.
Completed in production. He's got Fantastic Four. He's got The Last of Us is going to be released. That one is 7 episodes. He's in pre-production, supposedly pre-production, Avengers Doomsday. He's got in production The Mandalorian, Avengers Secret War in development, and then he's got Eddington, Materialist.
Oh, he's in Wild Robot. He's the voice of the Fox.
Voice of Wild Robot. I'm just saying, like, coming up.
Yeah. I heard he's great. In it. So he's doing a lot of Marvel as Mr. Fantastic. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, he's doing that. Plus, he's The Mandalorian. 2026.
Well, so The Mandalorian, I think some of that stuff was actually filmed a while ago because of Pedro's busy schedule. The stuff where you had to see his face. I think that stuff was already shot. That is what I heard. But yes, and then that movie's not going to come out till when? 26?
Yeah.
Right.
That's supposedly it's
or the end of 25.
Yeah, so Gladiator's coming up, Fantastic Force 2025. Yeah. Well, Last of Us is going to be next year too? Oh wow.
Last of Us is this next year. Yeah, it's already done.
Yeah.
It'll be coming out early next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not even out this year. Wow.
Well, it's time speeds up in fall, so January is around the corner, so to speak. You know how that goes. I'm assuming it's a January release. The Equalizer. So Pedro Pascal is the only actor in Hollywood. You didn't get the memo. Fire Dragon. He's a member of the channel. I fell in love with Wednesday. I have now watched it 4 times, but I have to wait, and of course, still waiting for season 2. Now I don't even care if I see a season 2. It's filming right now. Yeah. It's a bit, especially when you get like a star, and Jenna's so in demand. It's like that schedule. I mean, they did Beetlejuice, her and Tim, and now they're filming Wednesday right now. I can't. Yeah, I mean that's the thing too,
Yeah.
And then what's Jenna going to do next? But yeah, it's really weird with television, because a lot of these actors in television are film stars, and it's not really TV, traditional TV.
Mm-hmm. It's more like a long movie, cut up.
Well, no, meaning that the show's not back next year necessarily, like on CBS or NBC.
Right.
You get a new season every September. That all started with The Sopranos. On they would have infamous like year and a half, sometimes 2 years in between seasons. Now 2 years is like the norm that you have to wait for a new season on any of the channel, any of the streamers, unless it's like kind of a smaller shows and they can get away with, they don't have maybe the big movie stars, which I almost think is a good thing. Like, when would the next Penguin happen?
Yeah.
Because you have a movie star is very much in demand.
Yeah, I did hear that they had canceled a bunch of the projects that they had coming up from that. And where did I see that? And then they were saying that maybe with the success of the Penguin, maybe some of the stuff could be, could it be revived? You know what I mean? Where did I see that? Oh, yeah, I think I see it here. Trying to find that.
Yeah, I mean, but so back to this, with the last, just with The Last of Us, or with HBO, it really seems like every 2 years you get a new season, because that I think what they're trying to do program wise, every year you're getting one of your favorite shows back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so look at what we just had this past year. You had the new True Detective, Night Country. That was the beginning of the year, January. And then you had this past kind of spring, summer. What do we have? House of the Dragon season 2. Now they're gonna turn it over, and now right now you have the Penguin.
Right.
And now they're gonna turn over next year. You're gonna have The Last of Us. So just programming wise, they're trying to spread stuff out to where at least it almost seems that every year you're getting your favorite show a new season, your favorite show a new season. Yeah. Okay, what else? Well, Pedro didn't get the memo that says "Basta ya." Hey, he's very much still he's just really in demand. That's why I think actors like Manuel Rufo could very well be the next Pedro in regards to him being able to play. Manuel could play every character that Pedro plays.
Right.
I mean, he can. It probably excel in some of those. The guy's very versatile. He can be very sweet and vulnerable. Then he can be very menacing. He can be funny. I'm talking about Manuel from Lincoln Lawyer.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I'll be curious because I know they had a whole thing that Reeves and stuff like that they were gonna try to, get out. When the Batman was being hyped, and I think Matt Reeves was talking about, because he did say that the Penguin doesn't have to, you don't have to watch the Batman to catch the Penguin. And he says he was trying to do a little bit more with that. I think they had one, I think it was called, in an interview he did with Entertainment Weekly, he says he wanted to build on that, but there was scrap spin-offs from the Penguin. And I guess he, so I guess going to the stories of kind of like the stuff that it was, I don't know. I have the article. If you want to look at it.
Well, we've been going over 2.5 hours, almost 2.5 hours. We still got a lot of people on X and on YouTube. Let's bring up one last minute political topic, and then we'll get out of here. Libs of TikTok on X put this up, and I think you're the one who shared it to me. What do we got here? Kamala blames the border crisis and the invasion of millions of illegals on Trump. You can't make this up. She's literally the border czar and has been in office for the past 4 years. So this is a clip from her interview on MSNBC. Let's check it out.
There are people there that are stressed, that feel that they're at capacity. Communities around the country that have legal immigration, many have said we're at capacity. And many feel like the government has said to them, well, adapt, sit down, be quiet. This is how it is. What would a Harris administration do for those communities who've taken in many, many legal immigrants, but are at capacity?
Well, first of all, we do have a broken immigration system, and it needs to be fixed. And if we take a step back, months ago, some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress came together with others, proposed a border security bill. That would have put 1,500 new border agents on the border to help those hardworking border agents who are there right now working around the clock. Would have put more money into stemming the flow of fentanyl, which is killing Americans around our country and devastating communities. Would have put more resources into our ability to prosecute transnational criminal organizations, which in my career I've prosecuted. Donald Trump got word of the bill, realized it was going to fix a problem he wanted to run on, and told him to kill the bill, don't put it up for a vote. He killed a bill that would have actually been a solution because he wants to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And that's part of what needs to be addressed. And my pledge is that when elected president, if the American people will have me, I will bring that bill back and I will sign it into law. And we need a comprehensive plan that includes what we need to do to fortify not only our border, but deal with the fact that we also need to create pathways for people to earn citizenship.
There are people there.
All right. The question was, what are you going to do to alleviate the stress of communities and the system supported by American taxpayers? And
and the answer was
yeah, it really wasn't it was more of like, well, let's take it back, because there was this. I've already heard this answer.
right.
To me, this is not an answer. For me, an answer would have been, and we're really interested in what she has to say when she's on the border, because that's the big hype today.
Right.
So for me, it just seems that she's just avoiding the problems that have been caused the last 3.5 years in big and small communities, from New York to small town USA. And that's because this is on her. All this has been happening on her watch.
Right.
You could say it was continued from Trump. That's fine. I don't care. You guys have been in charge the last 3.5 years. I'd actually would point to some success. It's like, look, I don't know why she hasn't been talking about the root and causes. It's like, okay, well, I got over 4 billion raised. 1 billion went to Mexico, to this one town, and we got this plant by by a manufacturer, and we were able to hire 300 citizens in the town of Mexico City, but Mexico, whatever. Like, give concrete facts to some success. Said this helped. It's not, it's not the be all end all, but it did help, and that's what I want to continue. She can do that. I don't know how she's going to call back this bill. The bill didn't pass the Senate, right?
Yeah, it didn't pass. It was full of pork. It's all filled with all kinds of weird things that mean nothing about the border.
And excuse me, but more. So, talk about your success. She hasn't talked about any of her successes. Are there successes? Maybe that's why she's not talking about it, because she got private money, 4.2 billion, to put in these different Latin American countries. Did something not go well with that? Do you guys know about that? I know about that. That was part of her, whether you want to call her the czar or not, I don't care. But that was the responsibilities given from Biden to her. She got to go and kind of take the problem head on from the roots and causes, which I respect. Because you can do that, then you can also reform the U.S. immigration system. You can do that at the same time. See, what I just said, to me, is more of an answer than what she just said. That's me.
Yeah, but then, I guess maybe because they kind of know where that money went, and they don't want nobody to know where that money went. So they don't don't say anything. How much of it is her not, because she's got to have an earpiece probably of somebody telling her something. Either she's ignoring it or it's just, it's like, no, just be as vague as possible, because if you do say something, then, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
So
because she could say I've prosecuted transnational. I mean, where are the case examples besides just you doing this as a California prosecutor? But ultimately, this is not satisfying to voters as an answer, especially if I'm an undecided voter.
Right.
Having a hard time paying all my bills and rent. This is not the answer I want to hear.
Yeah, right. Of course.
What do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think in the chat? Oh, can you read that?
Kamala Harris went through 90 staff members in 2 years, several of whom say she is not what you think. Not in a good way either. No. I saw politicians take a class on how not to answer question if politicians' answers might lose them some votes. So, yeah. Why is she talking about the import of drug when it's about immigration levels? No, that's a bait and switch,
I think if anything, what you're seeing is people. It's kind of like with us. We got over 100 people combined. Why are people still hanging out with us, listening to us? If we were full of shit, they wouldn't be. If we were disingenuous, we would have no members. We have almost 200 paying members. Right?
Right.
We've been riding on a nice wave of success the last couple of months. Why? Because we're genuine. We don't have to agree. I don't got to agree with. I don't have to agree with everything that I'm going to vote for. But if they're not full of shit, then that's a start. And I'm telling you guys, Latinos, the John Leguizamo and this guy and that guy, talking about they're approaching this problem from the opposite side, from the opposite end. The one thing that John says is like, you got to come to us. Correct, but it's how. Can't come to us with a Latinx mentality. People don't like that. Right?
Right. What is that for?
Latinos, they just can smell mamadas, bullshit right away. And if you're and I think Latino women, I think reproductive rights is a big issue with them. But is it big enough to sway the vote? Is it going to really sway the vote? Also, too, are there bigger issues, such as economy? All right, what else do we have here?
Throwing money at the pro. Grogu says, I can't believe that there are people out there who would vote. She hasn't given any politician that would benefit an average American. She's just going to be a continuation of Biden. A lot of people are saying that. Yeah.
But Borgu, remind me. Yeah. You're in the U.S., right? Yeah, because I think I'm sending you something, or I sent you something. Sorry, man. My mind's getting a little fatigued. Okay, go on.
Oh, that was a question.
Well, these are statements. I can't believe these are people. I mean, there's the same amount of people who can't believe people are going to vote for Trump. So, benefit of the doubt there. Let's be fair. I mean, there's the same amount of people that can't believe people are voting for Trump. Can't believe Latinos would dare and vote for Trump.
They don't know a lot of Latinos.
Yes, I'm in the U.S. Both sides are whacked. Azteca Aguilar, what's up, Azteca? Seriously, with third party. Yeah, maybe we'll make an emphasis on the whole third party and JFK and Tulsi. Maybe we'll emphasize that next week. All right, guys, we're out of here, man. This has been great. Incredible. We met our membership goal. We had a great talk. We'll put some clips up this weekend. Anything else, Fletcher?
We got Monday coming up. It's going to be the week, and you're working on a special guest, so it's going to be great. Tune in Monday night.
Listen, this is going to redirect right now. We're going to do a hard end. It'll redirect to a new video Fletcher did on Terrifier. Going right now. I know is that with independent parts. Real question. Azteca, I'll answer that next week. We'll do it. We'll do independent vote parties next week. Tuesday. Tuesday is the debate. We're going to be reacting to the debate with Daily Chella live. There you go. The VP debate. The VP debate. Oh my God, that's going to be a joke. Wow. All right, guys. Take care. It was another great episode. Thank you so much. Stick around for this video. Say adios, Fletcher.